Science and Humanities. Belonging to CONICET, it's a pleasure to begin our cycle of exchange and cooperation seminars in China with outstanding international academics. For those who don't know our program, this program began in 2021 and bring together a large number of CONICET researchers who work on issues related to China and on the relationship between China and Latin America. Our program contains two main macro lines of work, one based on issues related to geopolitical and geoeconomic transformation, the role of China, and the impact of an alternative to Latin America. The other line is more focused on cultural topics, covering a wide variety of fields associated with anthropology, sociology, art, and linguistics that involve China and our region. Both lines, of course, are not exclusive and contain a diversity of logic that intertwine. In CONICET, we have a rich plethora of researchers and topics related to China in the comprehensive field of social science and humanities, and we have assumed the task of coordinating the academic scientific production, developing our institution and in our disciplinary area, the strengthening international ties and advancing at some time with colleagues and institutions, both from China and Latin America. As part of the activity of this program, we are initiating the cycle of seminars with two distinguished speakers. We are sincerely grateful to Professor Jiang, Professor Elías Jabbour, for accepting our invitation to share their knowledge about the BRICS, the challenge, and perspectives. The seminar will be chaired by Dr. Gabriel Merino. Gabriel is a member of our CONICET program and will introduce the speaker and explain the way in which presentation and the question and answers will be developed. So, Gabriel, I give you the floor to introduce our distinguished colleagues.
Well, thank you very much, Ramiro. Hola a todos, gracias por estar. Thank you. Well, my name is Gabriel Merino. I'm researcher at the CONICET. I'm a part of the program that organized this seminar about BRICS enlargement, challenges, and prospects in a challenging context. Well, first of all, it's a great pleasure for me to present two high-level panelists. They are excellent scholars. Well, thank you very much for being here with us. Really, it's a great pleasure for us. The proposed dynamics is for them to make brief presentation, 15 to 20 minutes each one, and then we will have time for comments, questions, and answers. Well, without wasting any more time, I'm going to introduce our panelists. The first to make the presentation will be Jiang Tianjiao. Well, Dr. Tianjiao is Associate Professor of Development Institute at Fudan University. He also serves as Associate Director of Center for BRICS Studies, Fudan University. His research focuses on sciences, technology, and international security. He has published 3 books and 28 academic papers in the Journal of Chinese Political Sciences, Asian Perspective, Copenhagen Journal of Asian Studies, Chinese Journal of International Review, and edited volumes by SIPRI and USIP. Dr. Jiang is a CONA Fellow 2021 to 2022 of Harvard University's Davis Center for Russian and Eurasian Studies, CTVTO Youth Group and Center for Energy and Security Studies Fellow 2021-2022, and PIHP Fellow of Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars in 2016, and visiting scholar at George Washington University in 2017. Well, Tianjiao, thank you very much to be here. I give you the floor.
Thank you very much, Gabriel. And dear colleagues, good morning. It's my great honor to attend this event and really appreciate the invitation. Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, Chair. So I will talk about BRICS enlargement challenges and the prospects in the future. So I think, well, to begin with, I would like to say that what I'm going to talk is based on my personal observation. And last month, I joined the BRICS Academic Forum. It's a new forum held in Moscow. So some of the points were my personal observation from the BRICS Academic Forum last month. So this is just my very personal view. So I would like to share with you and look forward to your comments. So I think the historic expansion of the BRICS membership has led to the further expansion of international influence. There's no doubt about that. And also very high expectations from all of, I think, all of the countries, I think, across the world. There have been a long line waiting for joining the BRICS membership now. A lot of countries, they are waiting. However, I want to point out that under the influence of international geopolitical struggles and the internal diversification, the development of BRICS countries is also faced with realities of instability of members and also difficulties of bridging internal differences. So at the new starting point of the BRICS expansion, and also under the context of the international, the turbulence, I think it is important for BRICS countries to gain insight into the difference in the interests and the demands of all of the members, and to establish mechanism and normative values, and to promote the BRICS to become stronger, so that it will advance steadily and further into the future. So the first part I would like to introduce is the recent, what I call, I think, destabilizing movements, what I observed in the BRICS countries. So the first is about Saudi Arabia. So it is said that Saudi Arabia is not determined to fully initiate actions to fulfill its BRICS membership. Although Saudi Arabia was invited to join the BRICS cooperation last summer, and announced its accession to BRICS at the beginning of this year, what I heard is that it has yet to formally and fully participate in the operation of the mechanism as a member, official member. So in April this year, the United States asked Saudi Arabia to maintain, I think, a certain level of participation in the BRICS after U.S. Secretary of State Tony Blinken visit to Saudi Arabia. And since then, I think on one hand, Saudis have shown goodwill to the U.S., and on the other hand, they have deliberately, I think, distanced themselves from China on major occasions to appease the United States. For example, at the China-Arab Cooperation Forum on May 30th, the Saudis only sent their foreign minister to participate because the king was ill. And at the academic forum of BRICS, what I just introduced, and held in Russia on May 22nd, I think more than 200 diplomats and experts and scholars of 9 member countries showed up to attend the meeting. But while only the Saudis lacked diplomats and scholars, even experts, they were not sent to the forum. Therefore, we should not rule out the possibility that Saudi Arabia will be absent from the BRICS summit in October. This is my serious concern. And well, it may also follow the footstep of Argentina. I think we are not sure. I think it's full of uncertainty. And second, it's about Egypt. Egypt's economic difficulties, I think, deepen, and the US factor should not be ignored. So this year, after Egypt became a member of the BRICS, Egyptian currency exchange rate plummeted, and inflation soared, and the debt crisis approached. So as soon as Egypt became a member of the BRICS, the exchange rate of its currency against the US dollar plummeted to very low level. And at the same time, Egypt's inflation rate soared to 36% in February. And it will have to repay, I think, about like 72 billion US dollar in foreign debt in the next 3 years. This is a very serious economic situation. And the devaluation was mainly due to the pressure from the International Monetary Fund, IMF. And to obtain US dollar loans, Egypt had to adopt a free floating exchange rate policy. At the same time, the Federal Reserve continued to raise interest rates and maintain high interest rates, causing many countries, especially developing countries, to face the pressure of capital outflows. I think a lot of developing countries suffered from what I just described. And this year, about 20 billion US dollars in short-term funds have been withdrawn from the Egyptian market. As the BRICS countries to expand, the US is bound to respond. And the United States has a large number of tools in its policy toolbox to influence new BRICS members and active candidate countries. And many of these influence measures, they are not very direct, like coercive policy, but more like indirect and implicit pressure. And third is about Thailand, Turkey, and other countries who would like to join the BRICS. It will cause the new domino phobia of the United States. As in the Cold War era, the United States, fearing a chain reaction from the expansion of communism in Southeast Asia, especially in Vietnam, invested massively in the Vietnam War. And the Truman Doctrine began with the blocking of the revolutions in Greece and Turkey. And currently, the United States is also concerned, I think is concerned about like Thailand and Turkey moving to participate in BRICS. Thailand is an important country in ASEAN and has already applied to join the BRICS, which, if approved, will have a demonstration effect on Vietnam and Indonesia in Southeast Asia. And these two are also interested in joining, but are still waiting due to domestic politics and ASEAN political concerns. And it is very likely that the United States will stop Thailand from triggering a chain reaction and increase the political economic pressure on the relevant countries in Southeast Asia. Turkey also claims to be a loyal member of NATO and insists on becoming a full member of the European Union, EU, but has been frustrated in its application for EU membership for decades. So this year, Turkey, several weeks ago, in fact, this month, Turkish foreign minister, during his visit to China, said that Turkey would like to join the BRICS countries, and this is a good alternative to joining the EU. In this regard, I think the US will not sit idly by. So the future competition with BRICS will be even more extensive and intensive than maybe the Belt Road Initiative. Second point is, I think, differences in demands and integration issues among BRICS member countries is another very big challenge, serious concern. So there are still differences in understanding of international order among BRICS countries. What I observed last month from the academic forum. I think this is what I observed is it's a very interesting discussion there, which can be I think is a typical case of the so-called the same word but a different meaning. For example, Russian scholars always advocated the so-called multipolarization, especially opposing the unipolar or the hegemony power of the United States. Iran has very strong anti-American sentiment and is close to Russia's position, which also demands the break of the existing international order and start a new one. Well, Brazil and India, I think they are closer. They pay more attention to equality, balance, and democratization under the goal of multipolarization. But they emphasize in peaceful way, especially in the reform of the United Nations and the Security Council. With the expansion of member countries, BRICS and India have expressed their hope that BRICS countries will take the same position on relevant issues, which has put pressure on other member countries. Well, however, as I mentioned, that Brazil and India have clarified that they insist on peaceful reform rather than completely breaking the existing order. And new members such as Ethiopia and UAE emphasize a multipolarization and a multilateralism centered on the United Nations, which is closer, I think, to Chinese position. And second, I think these countries, they have quite different priorities. So different priorities among BRICS member countries. For example, as the chair of this year's summit, Russia hope that BRICS can promote the so-called BRICS payment system because Russia suffered a lot from the US and Western financial sanctions. And Iran also strongly echoed and went a step further with Russia on this point. So at the Russia Islamic World Kazan Forum this year, held in Kazan on May 14, Iran emphasized its cooperation with Russia to establish a single BRICS currency. Well, at present, I think countries such as China, India, and Brazil are focusing on local currency settlement. Well, Russia is also concerned about giving full play to its advantages to obtain like pricing power and rule-making power in fields of energy and food. Russia has also proposed the bold idea of considering establishing a BRICS peacekeeping force. This is the first time I heard this kind of idea from the forum, and station the peacekeeping force in Ukraine as an example of BRICS reforming the international order to provide public goods. This suggestion attracted India's attention. Well, Brazil is more concerned about climate change and has always attached importance to issues such as climate and biodiversity, and it is about to host the climate change conference. And countries such as South Africa and Ethiopia are more concerned about industrialization and development issues and hope to gain tangible benefits from the BRICS cooperation. Well, third, the Russia-Ukraine war and the resolution of bilateral differences within the BRICS framework is another very important topic. As a significant international actor with numerous influential partners, the role of the BRICS in the Russia-Ukraine conflict is very important. About the Ukraine, the so-called the Peace Summit held in Switzerland several days ago, The BRICS countries, including China, have collectively declined the invitation to the meeting, citing the absence of Russia, another party to conflict, from the invitation list. And China, the BRICS countries, and the international community collectively aspire to resolve the conflict and restore peace and stability in this region. However, the peace conference that excludes Russia is not recognized by BRICS countries. And BRICS new members states also hope that BRICS can play a mediating role in resolving bilateral differences within BRICS. For instance, there have been long-time disputes between Saudi Arabia and Iran within the BRICS. Although the relationship between two parties has made some progress under the mediation of China, there is still much room for peace and harmony. In addition, there is also a long-standing Nile River dispute between Egypt and Ethiopia. So Ethiopian scholars directly proposed the idea of hoping the BRICS to play a mediation role. So my final part about our steps forward. What I would like to propose is that it's important to promote the formation of BRICS common values under the BRICS member countries. I think values are the real force driving world change. And in the past few years, the United States and Western countries have monopolized the interpretation of human common values. So the diversity reflected after the expansion of BRICS requires member countries to form certain common values. Such common values should not only adapt to the current international law, but also be able to integrate the interests of different BRICS members. These common values should include respect for sovereignty, cherish strategic autonomy, and the principle of equality, and fully respect the opinions of all parties. And also multipolarity, including political multipolarity and civilizational multipolarity, and international order centered on international law, and also consensus and listening, promoting BRICS members to form a consensus. I think these values have also been echoed by Russian scholars at the academic forum. To promote the implementation of these common values, I believe that China can also play a certain leading role in implement them in the text together with other major powers such as Russia and India. So if you make friends for the sake of benefits, you will disperse when the benefits are gone. If you make friends for the sake of power, you will fall when the power is defeated. Only when you make friends with your heart can you make it last for a long time. And the second suggestion is gradually promote the transformation of BRICS decision-making mechanism from consensus to voting. I think if the BRICS is to go deeper and deeper, the decision-making mechanism of the BRICS should be more institutionalized. Unlike the G7, which is dominated by United States, the BRICS cooperation is not dominated by any hegemonic countries. So therefore, the BRICS countries adhere to multilateralism and adopt the principles of equality and consensus in decision making. However, the question of how consensus can balance multilateralism and also equity and efficiency is always there. So for the long time, I think BRICS countries must consider gradually transforming BRICS from a platform for dialogue and a mechanism for coordinating positions into a comprehensive mechanism for strategic cooperation, and transforming BRICS into a physical organization through a lot of, for example, cooperation in specific areas and also voting in decision making. Well, of course, this is a long time goal, and that needs to be worked out step by step. But we need to have this plan, I think, and it will be, otherwise it will be difficult to realize the improvement in the strategic role of BRICS. Final point, we should encourage BRICS minilateral cooperation within the BRICS cooperation aimed at solving specific issues, especially global governance issues. So after the expansion of the BRICS, I think the member countries are very different in various aspects and have different demands, as what I have introduced. So it is difficult in the short term to form a strategic cooperation in addition to the advantages and the potentials of the BRICS. However, the reality of the BRICS mission already exists, and the international situation and the member countries, I think, expect BRICS to play a role. So it should be encouraged in using BRICS as a platform to organize minilateral cooperation first, to address specific issues and share their development experience. So for example, in security issues and in financial cooperations would have been achieved in the past years from the BRICS. I think they have set up good examples for the new members to follow. And I think also on the development issues, for example, China can also explore the formation of minilateral like consultative mechanism within the BRICS framework, including China, India, and other members from Africa to promote sustainable development across the world. I'm sorry, maybe I spent too much time, but I will stop here. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Tianjiao. Very good presentation. Thank you very much. Great and provocative with a specific proposal for debate. Well, it's an important material to discuss, to debate the BRICS enlargement. Well, now Elías Jabbour, the turn of the estimate Elías Jabbour. Dr. Elías Jabbour is a consultant to the president of the New Development Bank. He's associate professor at the School of Economic Sciences of the State University of Rio de Janeiro. He's author of several books and academics and opinion articles on socialism and the dynamics of development in China. Elías Jabbour has a very important and influential intellectual production. For example, or in this sense, his book, China, the Socialism of the 21st Century, won the Special Book Award on China in 2021. Well, Elías, thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabriel Merino. Nice to meet you, Professor Jiang, Professor Ramiro Fernandez. I'm very glad to be here because I love the Argentinian people. I love the Argentinian scholars. I told before our conference here that Gabriel Merino is one of the most important Latin American scholars in our time. The same I could speak about Javier Vadel, for example, another Argentinian academicians that help us to open our mind to a lot of processes in America, in Latin America. I'm very glad to hear because very difficult to speak in the last one year because I moved from Rio to Shanghai, and my occupation, my position in New Development Bank, but a lot of restrictions for my appearance in events and in other forms of presentation of ideas. But I accepted this invitation because Gabriel Merino is a special friend and a special man. I will ask for share the slides for. That's okay? The slides, Benino? Okay.
Yes, perfect, Elías.
I made a choose here because the Merino passed me more or less 50 minutes, and I took a decision for build slides, self-explanatory slides for everyone here, but for avoid a great theorization about the things. Let's to be more directing the points here. But in debate, during debate, we could explain better our points here. BRICS enlargement, 2 points, challenges and prospects in the challenging world. The introduction, the figure 1 is very self-explanatory for our proposal here. The participation of the Global South and Global North in the world GDP. A comparison between exchange rates and purchasing power parity. That's very, very interesting. The raising of global in Global South in terms of PPP and CRR. And the fall of the Global North in the last 20 years. Here I will open a point here because there is a empirical evidence of Lenin theory of law of unequal development. Here the Global South, the periphery trend, the trend of peripheries is occupying space left by financialized economies like England 1 century ago, and now United States and other economies. And Global South now confirmed this trend launched by Lenin when he wrote about imperialism and the law of unequal development. So this figure is very, very important to understand that our tendency of the world tendency and our purpose when we discuss BRICS and discuss China and discuss Global South is not academician point in itself. It's a great political point for everyone. The figure 1 demonstrates what we call the objective conditions for the expansion of the BRICS. Not only the increase in the Global South participation, global wealth production, but also the fact that the Global South has become the engine of world economy. This is the primary point for understand this kind of phenomena is the material base. There is a question of material base for us for understand the expansion of BRICS and the Global South role in the world in particular. Impossible speak about BRICS without speak about the role of China in this process of the empirical confirmation of Lenin theory and law and the unequal development. The figure 1, 2 show us the impressive point here. The share of the world GDP for the last 30 years, China, the starting point 5% of the world GDP in 93 to 18.4 now. United States falling from more or less 20 for 15.5. This is impressive. Not only because the very slow United States falling, but the very fast economic growth, the very fast participation of the share in the world GDP by China, and not only China. I think terms of capitalism and socialism the socialist country in our days, in our epoch, is the first or second economy of the world. This is an impossible point to understand that 30 years ago, when the Soviet Union broken and the socialist bloc disappeared on the world. Now a socialist country become the most important economy of the world, or the second economy, most important economy of the world. This is an important point in my thesis about the world. China's role is crucial, but the world undergoes a transition from a dynamic pole in economic terms from the North Atlantic for Asia. This is self-explanated for itself. The second point is more polemical, but I have a great agree with this point. China is the center of this new geographical economic center, as well a new kind of globalization. A very important, a very interesting approach developed by a great professor, Javier Vadel. What's this new kind of globalization? This is the concrete expression of this kind of globalization. Belt and Road Initiative, for example, is one of the concrete demonstration. Not only the Belt and Road Initiative, but China launched trends for the economic planning for the global south. The Council of Global South can't planning its economy by themselves, because we are peripheral countries. We don't have a financial system, a large financial system. We don't have a large entrepreneurship schemes, and the development of global south, the periphery is in history is based in trends launched from abroad. The case of the United States trend of cars in the last century, and now the trend launched by China of exports of public goods like ports, infrastructures, launched a great trend to more comprehensive development of countries like global south country. And the third point, this is obvious. China in the last 40 years become firstly trade, second industrial, and now a financial power. This is the three components, central components to understand the role of China in the world, and the BRICS in itself. For example, here, the role of China, this figure shows that the largest creditors in the world to peripheral countries. China in 15 years become the largest creditor for the world, for this global south, for example. China offer more credit than World Bank, than Paris Club, and the IMF. This is the center of the new world that will appear with the China China and BRICS in the center. Because without a great financial system, there is no possible change the world or challenging the actual situation. The main material condition is a country like China become a financial power, for example, to challenge, for example, the Bretton Woods scams. Yeah, the Bretton Woods. Everybody knows which means Bretton Woods in our epoch. This is a power of a very bad role in the world. The Bretton Woods institution like IMF, World Bank, etc. And China, in this point, is a great challenge. China financial system is a great challenge for Bretton Woods systems in a great material basis for expand the global South and expand the options for countries like Brazil, like Argentina, like Bolivia, like African countries, etc. In my point of view, this is a central point to understand the future of the world. This is impressive. I will change the point here because I observe an impressive trend in my point of view. The Ukraine war has inaugurated and accelerated the process of economic integration and the unification of economic territory of Russia and China. Gabriel Merino, Ramiro, and Professor Tianjiao, I think that this trend is the most impressive trend of our epoch. The unification of economic territory of Russia and China. I speak here not about one project, two projects, cooperation in energy affairs. I speak here about 1,000 projects, hundreds and thousands of projects linking these economies. It's not unequal relationship where Russia provide China gas and oil and China provide machines. Is more comprehensive process of development of the relation between Russia and China. In my point of view, I will repeat the most impressive trend of our epoch is the unification of economic territory of Russia and China. Remember this process. Remember the same process occurred in the United States in the century 19, when United States in the last 25 years of the 19th century unified its territory we feel this till today the influence of this process under our countries and the world, the unification of North American territory, United States territory. Now I think that this unification of economic territory for Russia and China is central point for me. For example, made into 10 years ago, Russia and China signed a 30-year gas agreement worth 400 billion to facilitate the project. Construction began in September 30 years ago. China expects to surpass the European Union as the primary consumer of Russian natural gas after the completion of the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline by 2030. The pipeline currently under construction will transport gas from the Yamal reserves in western Siberia, the main gas supply source to Europe to China. This is a very self-explanatory. This is one project. Yeah, this is the main project, but followed by a lot of projects in a lot of areas. Areas. What the challenges for the BRICS expansion? I think that the ideological, political, and military strength of imperialism. This is the. I think terms of imperialism because we live in an epoch where the marked by we are very empiricists, academicians, very imperialist thinkers. We live in an epoch where the center for our projects, for our thinkers, is a risk of the philosophy. What is the risk with philosophy? Is a risk with categories and concepts and theories to understand the world today. And my point of view, that the category of imperialism is central to understand the dynamics of our world, the dynamics of our countries in our epoch. In one hand, there is a epoch spirit marked by empiricist trend in academy. In other hand, we should rescue the central role of philosophy. When I speak about philosophy, I speak of social science, geography, economy, history, etc., etc. And in sense to rescue the role of categories, theories, and concepts to understand the world. Imperialism is a central category to understand the world. The United States maintains a significant capability to influence events worldwide. Its primary ability has been to reinvent its modes of operation, notably what Professor Gabriel Merino refers to as the global hybrid warfare. In leftist circles, is very common the discussion about the fall of the United States. BRICS will be the center of the world tomorrow. Tomorrow, China and Russia, and so global South is the center of the world. No, I have a more conservative point of view about that. There's some point about the process of de-dollarization. Everybody now speak about de-dollarization, the tendency for de-dollarization, but I think in other terms, I'm more conservative about the discussion, for example, about the de-dollarization, because the costs of the transition of this process is very, very high for all countries of the world. We can discuss this point during the debate, but the imperialism is a great challenge for us. But in one hand, there is a search for points of convergence among all countries that form BRICS. There is a necessity for search for points of convergence between us. I work in the bank where are present in India and China, South Africa, and Russia, and Brazil, and I observe every day the contradictions between these countries, and a great need, a great necessity to find some points of convergence. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of convergence is sufficient for the future of the BRICS in the next 10 years, for example. But there is a lot of contradiction between us. You should to treat these contradictions. On the other hand, there is a commitment to maintain the unity of the global South around agendas, such the right of the development. The development is the right to development is a banner that we must to raise in every day in our life as academicians and anti-imperialist militants, jointly addressing external debt issues and denouncing fiscal austerity agendas that is to influence policies of Bretton Woods institutions, IMF, another bank. These 2 points here of agreement of convergence between us. The right to development and the denounce of fiscal austerity agendas. For example, there is a great problem in Egypt and Ethiopia, in 100 countries in the world. Aliás, the global South lives today in our epoch a great debt trap. This is a great point that we must understand. The role of the BRICS in this process of the transition between old forms of financial relationship between the global South and institutions like IMF and World Bank. I will repeat here, the global South lives under a true debt trap. The latest World Bank report on the debts of developing countries, published in December the last year reveals an alarming fact. In 2002, developed countries of the world spent a record 443.5 billion on external debt payments. On the other hand, the 75 low-income nations eligible for loans for the International Development Association paid a record 88.9 billion to their creditors in the same year of 2002. These 70 countries have an unprecedented total external debt of 1.1 trillion, more than double the value recorded in 12 years ago. This is a great challenge for Global South. We should put at the center of our agenda for discussion this challenge of the debt trap of Global South. A challenge there's a point that I discussed with Gabriel Merino here in Shanghai 2 months ago. The current trend towards the consolidated Latin America as the backyard of the United States should be a matter for intense concern. I think there is this process in Latin America, and I think that should be a matter of intense concern of the anti-imperialist militants, the scholars in general. The prospects. I'm sorry for the time. The consolidation of a new accumulation dynamic in China based on innovation, a new and superior form of economic plan has positioned the country at the forefront of transforming socialism into a dynamic center of international economy. I will not discuss this point here because I could be talking about that during hours. I studied this point 27 years for along the 27 years. I wrote books about China about that, but I think that China and there is a lack of fury to understand that China and the new accumulation dynamics that emerged in China in the last 10 years, based in a appearance of a new and superior forms of economic planning. There is a real. A few minutes ago, I raised the point about the risk of philosophy. One point of the risk of philosophy is the grasp the essence of the real movement. The heterodoxal economics, the orthodox economics don't explain what happened in China today. We need a new fury to understand China, because China, in my point of view, is the biggest challenge for social science in our epoch. Understand the Chinese economic dynamics and the society dynamics is the biggest challenge for social science today. On the other hand, there is a hegemony of Western Marxism and new classicians approach about China, but we should overcome these approaches. The advancement of minimal unity among Middle Eastern countries, distance themselves from the influence of the United States and the dollar in oil transactions. The deals between China and Saudi Arabia, for example, is a great point. The deal between China and Iran 3 years ago is a great and important point. The new awakening of Africa rooted in the spirit of anti-colonial struggles and the increasing planning of its external trade with China, along with military collaboration of Russia. The China-Russia exerted a great influence in Africa dynamics today, in our epoch. And an expression of this influence is a new wave of anti-colonial struggles in this continent. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for. I think that I use more minutes than recommended, but Sorry for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Elias, for analytic view, provocative presentation. It's very good for the comment, for the debate. Well, we have at least 20 minutes. I leave my comments for another time to have more time for questions, answers, comments. Well, I think Juliana first.
Good morning, thank you.
Alberto. Oh, correct.
Good morning, thank you very much for the presentations. I really enjoyed both presentations. So I have a question for both of you. Maybe one of you want to start first, but I would like to know about what you think about the eventual incorporation of Latin American and or Caribbean countries into the BRICS, which we know that it implies a series of opportunities. The bloc, of course, expands the range of trade and investments options with other members of the bloc and access to the new development bank credits, for example. And of course, this is part of what Elias mentioned, the commitment of promoting the right to development for countries in the Global South, and particularly in Latin America. So in the case of Argentina, of course, we know that not joining the BRICS is part of a misreading of the prevailing dynamics on the international stage. But also, it is also true that these decisions, not only Argentinian, but in the case of Mexico, for example, that are among other compelling reasons due to its close relations to the United States and Canada, has been ambiguous, if not clearly reticent about the possibility of applying for membership in the group. So, and we know that recently Malaysia and Thailand, which have like important strategic and security arrangement with the US, have applied to join the BRICS as part of this hedging strategy. So how do you see this for Latin American countries, Latin American and the Caribbean countries?
Well, now Alberto, and then Gonzalo, and then the answers.
Good morning. Many thanks to CONICET and to all the team today for this amazing, astonishing presentation. Well, my question delves into the questions of Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. We've seen recently that the three countries have show their interest in joining BRICS, which is a more than logical, I would say, line of thinking, given the continuation of US sanctions against the three of them. Furthermore, Bolivia as well, in May, has ratified its application process inside BRICS. Now, the question is, do you see the alignment of the four countries in BRICS as a proof of failure for the US sanctions regime? Do you believe that this strategy can really assist Bolivia, Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua in their development in face and in light of the economic difficulties they've experienced during the recent years? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alberto. Now, Gonzalo.
Yeah, thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, Elias and Professor Jiang for the presentation. Very interesting. I would like to remind that 50 years ago, on May 1st, 1974, the United Nations Assembly adopted the Declaration for the Establishment of a New International Economic Order. And I think in 50 years, a few have changed. I mean, nowadays, countries of the Global South are industrialized countries, but more of them not. And as Professor Jiang said, remarked, different countries in BRICS, different interests. And I think the most important thing for developing country is to reach industrialization and, of course, development. I would like to know what is the the position of the BRICS regarding new international economic order, because I think it was a very interesting step and very important step in 1974 toward industrialization of the global South. But 50 years later, well, we see the situation is not different from 1974 from some countries. So I would like to know the position or the policy and the point of view and the priority of BRICS regarding the new international economic order, because I think that is the core question for the international system, for the developing country. If we don't reach industrialization, it's very difficult to get a better quality of life, to get new, better standard of life, you know, and to transform our countries to a developing economy. That is the most important thing in this in nowadays, you know, in global South. Well, just that, and again, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, Gonzalo. Well, now the first round to answers. Tianjiao, and then Elías.
So I go first, maybe?
Yeah.
Yes. So for the first question about the integration of countries from Latin America, I think yes, Julian, I think you are right. I think for some of the Latin American countries, they must I think face more pressure from the United States, because they are too close to the United States, right? So as also what I have talked in my presentation, I think the United States will have more concerns about the future expansion of the BRICS, because this is the key to the change or the reform of the future world order. So I think the U.S., if I were the president, I would must stop the expansion of the BRICS. This is a reasonable strategy for the United States. So now I think the question is for these countries, for Latin American countries. So whether you are struggling for an independent policy, an independent foreign strategy, or you are used to the traditional way, just like what we have witnessed for the past decades. So I cannot make a decision for these countries. But for BRICS cooperation, as I mentioned, I think they also need to face the difficulties and the challenges, and to further strengthen the cohesion, to make BRICS a more attractive platform to the rest of the world. So I think in this way, maybe in the future, BRICS will attract more attention from Latin American countries. For the second question, I'm not the expert in Latin America economy and in these, specific countries' situation. So I think I will pass this question to Elías. I will ask for your help. For the question about international economic order and industrialization and economic development, I think this is a very, very important question. I agree with Gonzalo. This is the key concern. It should be the key concern of BRICS countries and all of the developing countries. So, but I think
Sorry.
yes, but to be frank, I think in fact in these 2 years, China also face economic problems. In fact, In this summer, we will have the third plenum conference of the party, which is an important signal of the further reform and opening up. So personally, I also look forward to the latest reform policy to help the country to achieve economic modernization. Without that, I think Chinese economic development will also face a serious problem. So I think several years ago, I think we have the debate of the so-called Washington consensus versus Beijing consensus. The key is to keep reform and opening up, I think, especially for China. So this is our own job. We face a lot of challenges. In fact, if you're coming to China and do some field work, you will also find a lot of problems to be solved. But for now, I think the government realized these issues, and they are also trying to carry out a reform policy and to stimulate the economic growth. So I think yes, if I think China can continue its reform and open up, and if the economic can continue, the economic growth can continue, maybe we will explore another alternative to modernization. I think this is very important to the change of the world economy order, which means that I think maybe China and other countries working together with China find the real alternative to the traditional development model.
Thank you. Thank you. Elias?
Okay, I have agreed with Professor Tianjiao. I will comment your points about Chinese economy in the final of my reply here. Juliana, the question of Juliana is not an easy question, Juliana, because there's two levels of analysis here. The level of the balance of powers within the BRICS countries. This balance of powers will decide what countries will join the BRICS in the future. The disputes between China and India and South Africa is not a minor thing in this case. And we should understand the contradictions within the BRICS countries and the balance of force between our countries and China and India and Brazil and other members. This is not an easy question to solve. The part about the Latin American countries in the BRICS. I think that in Kazan conference we will do. No, I'm participating of this process now. I'm participating. From the last week, I participate of this process of organizing the Kazan conference, but I can't speak here about that for natural reasons. But it's not easy question about the future of Latin American BRICS. Because this level of discussion, there is another level of discussion, Professor Tianjiao. I don't know if you agree with me and Gabriel. This is the mindset of our countries. Yeah. For example, in Brazil, I'm Brazilian. The great part of leftists or progressive academicians made a link between BRICS and authoritarian countries. There is no consensus in our country, even in the left, even the progressive force, about the BRICS and about the role of the BRICS in the world, because the the world for these people under a great influence, very powerful liberal influence, is not different socioeconomic formations. And the great difference is democratic countries and authoritarian countries. This is the right-wing level, right-wing politicians, academicians think the same. The left-wing academicians. There is a point of mindset. The influence of imperialism in our minds is very, very hard, very hard. And then this is a point. Another point, for example, what do you want about China? What's Brazil want about China? What Venezuela want about China? This is another point, because the Brazilian elites in Brazil and other countries in the Latin America is a very happy because we export commodities and import machines. But we should build another mindset to get a great and a constructive relation with China. I call this process of we should to planning of economic foreign planning, or say planning of economic foreign trade, to understand to be achieve great things with China, because in other hands we will repeat a kind of dependence that we experience with United States. I don't want to be a Chinese colony. I want to be a partner of China. About the new international economic order, it's not a speech question. This is a material basis question. What's the material base for a new economic order? I think that the China is the great point. It's not a good thing called China and BRICS. No, it's China, the great country of global South, the engine of the global South, the biggest industrial power of the world is China. The biggest financial power of the world is China. The China is the center of the process. The China has a great gravitational power in the world today. I think Professor Tianjiao, the development process is China jumping from a contradiction to another contradiction. This is the economic process. It's not a China that is economic problems. Yes, every day China is in economic problems. The great point is China find a solution for these economic problems in a very fast way. For example, the last year the economic growth of China was 5.3%. Result of this process began 5 years ago when the government took a decision to broke the real estate. It was the government decision. And now China, if you observe the graph about the credits for real estate in one side and the industrial side in other, you understand how China managed this present transition in Chinese economy. I think that China is encircled in a lot of contradictions, but my point of view is the nature of contradictions. But different of Soviet Union, China built a great bureaucracy, not a Weberian bureaucracy. This is a communist bureaucracy under the leadership of CCP, with a great capacity for forecast. With one of the characteristics of the Chinese economy was the build of a great machine for forecasts. This is the great point. China now today, nowadays, to finally finish my point, working now 2 million people in planning jobs, jobs related for planning, economic planning. This is an impressive point. 2 million people working in jobs related of economic planning in China. This is a incredible point, and explain something about the China's present and China's future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Elias. Well, we have one question, Néstor Restivo. Ariela, please, brief question. I don't know, Néstor. Well, Ariela?
Okay, thank you, Gabriel. First of all, I want to congratulate both participants, Dr. Jiang Tianjiao and Elías Jabbour, for their brilliant presentations. I have a brief question, and we have read in the news about the sale of securities issued by the United States that have been sold by China, India, and other countries. We have read also that Saudi Arabia is not going to sell oil necessary in dollars. How much is this really affecting the weakening of the dollar and its role as a currency of international value? That's my question. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ariela. Well, we have one question for Tianjiao. The difficult, the geopolitical pressures, I think that you say in your brilliant presentation, for you are obstacles to a trend, or can stop the trend? You understand? These difficult, these geopolitical pressures are obstacles in a trend, to a trend, or can stop the trends, the transitions of power, material transition of power. For Elias, I know that you cannot talk too much about New Development Bank, but what is your evaluation or your opinion about the state, the situation of the so-called new financial architecture? You know, about New Development Bank, new currency, or the currency of the BRICS, new tools to impose the right of development. Well, thank you. First, Tianjiao, please.
Yes, for the question about dollars, I'm not economist. I think Elias will provide a better comment on this, but my personal view is that well, I think it will take time for example, other currency. I'm not sure. Maybe BRICS currency or maybe other currencies to I should not say replace, but to replace the role of dollars. But it will be a very, I think it will be a long, still a long way to go. But step by step. I mean, this is my very personal view. For the question about these obstacles I mentioned, I think with the expansion of BRICS and with so many countries waiting in the line, BRICS cooperation will face more and more. I think all of these problems, difficulties, disputes I mentioned, because we are. I think we are different countries, and we need to learn how to cooperate and coordinate. Because now we are facing a new starting point of BRICS. So I think it is important for us to find as I suggested in my final part of presentation, the common values. So what kind of common values we can have for consensus? This is important. So why we are here together? Why we sit here together? And for the short term, I think to solve these problems, we can have more unilateral cooperations. 3 countries, 4 countries, 7 countries, or 8 countries. As long as you can have cooperation, then you cooperate. And you need to have pragmatic cooperation, make achievements, and set as best practice for more countries to follow. So this is important. And in the long term, I think we need to have mechanism to solve these obstacles, the different opinions, disputes, to make the BRICS cooperation go further. And in this way, it will help lead the transformation of world order or the transition of power. This is my personal view.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for questions, Ariela. Nice to see you here. Ariela, yesterday I will speak about yesterday. The President Dilma Rousseff had a long conversation with President Dilma Rousseff about this point, the dollarization and Saudi Arabia deal, another point about this trend of de-dollarization. I repeat for her about I repeat for her what I told you here. I don't believe in a great wave of de-dollarization. I am more conservative in this point because sure, you are right. The Saudi Arabia don't need more, don't want more trade oil with dollars is a great thing. The yuan petro yuan is a great thing, but it's a trend. Né? It's a trend that will obtain velocity in long term, not short term. Né? This is my point, because the change of the commerce of the world, overcoming the dollar system, depend of the firstly material basis. Yeah? When the global south and China become, in fact, the engine of economic world, when China overcoming these problems in semiconductors infrastructure in the industry, when China reach United States in no technology, and when China, for example, never more depend of foreign technology, and Russia and China become a unique economy, will begin to discuss the de-dollarization like a serious point. This is my conservative point of view. What happened in our nowadays that I follow every day in my work? The local currency payment systems in the world. For example, there is a great local currency system, the payment system in Asia. Inaugurated after the financial crisis in 2008, the China and other 10 or 15 countries open a local currency payment system. And I bring a point here for you, Ariela. Even this currency, local currency payment system, the dollar is present. It's impossible overcoming the dollar, even in local currency payment system. There is a thing named unity of account. The unity of account is the base for the commerce between the two countries without dollar, for example. China and Thailand, for example, found a unity of account only 1 year ago. In other terms, after more than 15 years of establishment of the financial, the local accounts payment system, these two countries reach a unity of account for commerce between the two countries in a yuan in the Thai currency. This is the state of art, my point of view, of the process of the dollarization. The Mercosur, for example, open a currency. Brazil and Argentina began a big commerce between Rio and peso, but now this process passed away. Enfim, then this is my points about the dollar, about the dollarization. Ariela, I'm very conservative. Dilma Rousseff thinks, Elias, you are very conservative, but she hear me in some things. Everybody think that I very conservative in this point. About the same point, Gabriel, new financial architecture. That is a kid. The new financial architecture is a kid. It's not adult. That is not a new financial. No, forget. Excuse. There is new architecture order. There is a tentative for build a new financial architecture order. For example, the appearance of new development bank, but the new development bank is very little bank, and we work under the dollar system. It's not easy get out the dollar system. For example, Iran, Islamic Republic of Iran, want to become member of the bank. It's very difficult for us because Iran is a sanctioned country, and the new development bank deepen the Western stock market to raise funds for our bank. How we manage a situation where the new development bank don't need participate of dollar system? This is a great thing. This is a great problem. In other hand, if you read the documents of G20 under the Brazilian presidents on the new financial architecture order, it's very bad documents. Very it's not a good document, because this agenda in G20 is under the power of the people from BID, Banco Inter-American Bank of Development, the new liberal people, and they elaborated the document of new financial architecture order for the G20. It's a very problematic point. This is my point. My points. You could observe. I'm very conservative in a lot of points. I'm so sorry for become a conservative man. Despite I believe in a success of Chinese socialism, I have a very conservative man. In terms of the dollarization of financial architecture. The last thing, Ariela, I am a professor like you. In academy, we have a great a point of view about the things. When you in front of the real world, the things change a lot. My experience in the new development bank changed me a lot. I don't know if I am better now or worse now, but it changed my points of view in a lot of points that we discussed in our group, in the class group, in our group, and another point, in other environments. This is my point. Sorry for my conservative mindset, but Gabriel
Perfect.
understand my point.
Good. For that, I ask you this question to analyze different variables on a situation, and I agree. I think it's the last step in a power transition. The question about the currency, the financial system, is the last step. But well, I think it's the next battle maybe. Ramiro, can you say some words to finish these magnificent presentations?
Just allow me to thank the speakers, Elias and Tianjiao, for your excellent presentations, provocative presentation, also complementary presentations. Very thanks. Hoping that have been enjoyed and capitalized by the audience, and so many thanks. Thank you all, and hoping to meet again very soon in the next seminar. That is, we hope that will be very, very soon. Thank you, Elias and Tianjiao. We have to work together, thinking in the new order and the new world order, and working together. Thank you.
Well, thank you, everybody. Well, it was the first seminar. Well, I think the next seminar is in August. I hope you are okay. I think it was a very good presentation, very good meeting. Well, I see you next.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye. See you.